All right, today we're going to look at what is a note. We're going to define what a note is and how we write that note in musical notation. So first of all, let's begin by trying to establish a definition for what a note is. What we do know is that sound is created by vibration. For instance, when I strike a guitar string, that guitar string in turn vibrates the top of the guitar, and the top of the guitar in turn vibrates my eardrum. So miraculously we have a note, and that note happens to be a fixed vibration. So you can strike just about anything and make a noise, but that noise is not a note. There is a difference between a noise and a note, or a pitch. A note is a sustained fixed vibration, a sustained vibration that is measurable and stable. So every instrument, including the human voice, has to sustain a fixed vibration accurately and measurably. That measure is expressed in vibrations per second, sometimes called cycles per second. This unit, cycles, is named after the German physicist Heinrich Hertz, and is referred to as Hertz, abbreviated Hz. The average human can hear these vibrations from 20 vibrations per second, 20 hertz, to 20,000 vibrations per second, 20,000 hertz. 20 being what we would call a very low note, and 20,000 being a very high note, almost out of human hearing range. All right, so when a vibration is sustained and stable, that means when it's repeatable all the time, we can begin to use it as an element for melody and harmony, as a musical element. If that pitch is not stable, we can't. Our system of music will not work. So paramount to everything in terms of our music in the Western world, we have to be able to construct instruments or be able to sustain pitches that are the same vibrations. So we define or write notes in musical symbols, and these musical symbols are the letters of the alphabet, the musical alphabet, and those musical alphabet letters are A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's 7 of them altogether, and of course with sharps and flats, which we'll discuss later. But the point being that each of those letter names refers to a specific pitch. So when, for instance, you want to play middle C on a piano, that is a certain number of vibrations per second. That hammer hits the string, the piano hammer hits the string, and that string vibrates at a fixed frequency. The same thing that would happen on the guitar. I strike the string with a plectrum, and then we have a fixed frequency when my guitar is in tune. And if guitar and a piano play together, we are in harmony, or in unison, if you will, if we strike the same note, right? Because that note is vibrating at the same frequency. Okay, so the musical notation system, which is these letter names, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, are written on a staff. So the staff is made up of 5 lines and 4 spaces. And when we want to extend the staff, we just use ledger lines like this here, and that extends the staff further, either higher or lower. All right. When we add a clef, in this case the treble clef, which used to be called the G clef, and the reason it was called the G clef is because it's on that squiggly treble clef was actually a G, and an ornate letter G, and it surrounded the second line, and so that gives us a relative place to start. Now we know that a G is written on the second line of the staff, provided we have a treble clef. Okay. So from the G line, we can name the rest of the lines and the spaces relatively. So, of course, after the G, we would have an A, or before the G, we would have an F, and so on. This is the way all scales work. If we were to play, for instance, a C major scale, the notes in a C major scale would be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Just exactly the same letters, except the sequence would be starting in a different place. If I were to play it, right, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and back. And the same thing goes for any major or minor type scale. They're always going to be in an alphabetical order. If I play an A natural minor scale, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, back. And or I could go through all the scales and the modes for that matter, and they're all going to follow this basic system of a sequential alphabet starting in different places, right? So now the names of the lines and spaces, here they are right here. We start with an E at the bottom, and we just go all the way through to a G at the top. We're not using ledger lines here. We can extend this by using ledger lines either up or down. Again, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? And there we are. Now, as you can see, we have two E's here and two F's and two G's. And that's when we get into the topic of octaves. And octaves are really interesting because they also follow this idea of acoustical physics, where in fact two notes of the same name are just a doubling of frequency, which is really sort of cool, really interesting. A doubling or halving of the frequency. We'll look at that a little bit more later on. So I hope this was a help to you, and I hope that we straightened out some definitions having to do with what is a note and why we write them using the alphabet and on the staff and so on. Great, thanks for stopping by. See you soon.